We're here.
All right. Can you guys get me? I got like,
yeah, I hear you.
What just happened to my
Yep. We're here.
All right. Dude, I don't know why the intro wasn't playing, but welcome to I Got Next. The thing told me that my browser wasn't able to play it. So I don't even know what that means, but we're here. We're live.
Same message.
Yeah, did
too.
You? Okay, yeah, I was trying to play it. I don't know what was going on, but either way, we're here. I'm here with John Ryan and Tyler from Pickin Winners.org. So, I'll let you guys introduce yourselves real quick and talk about who you're representing real quick. Ty, you could go first.
All right. Well, my name is Tyler. I've been on here before. I was here back in college football season. I'll have to talk to Chad about that next time I see him. But yeah, I represent PickinWinners.org. We put out blogs for various sports. We got the main sports, football, basketball, all that stuff. And then we move into other things such as golf, lacrosse, hockey. And of course, our big one, UFC, MMA, our boys Keith and Tom get it done. Connor and I also write blogs for you at Pickin Winners here. So, I'm out of order. And it's great. I'm happy to be back. Happy to be here with John. I'll kick it over to John.
Well, thanks, Tyler. Thanks for having me on, both of you. It's always a blast being on this show, and I wouldn't be on it if it wasn't a good one. But I work for sportsmemo.com and Wager Talk fairly exclusively. I just started writing for a pretty big outfit, a global outfit called GDC Group. They own a website called gambling.com and a bunch of other sites. So I provide written content to them. I do written content and a ton of video shows for every sport with Sports Memo TV over on YouTube, and some shows on Wager Talk now too with Ralph Michaels and Kelly Stewart.
Yeah, that's the huge show, right?
It's the Bet on It show.
Yeah.
It gets pretty good numbers, but it's humbly said.
Yep. Sounds good. Well, let's get into it then. So we got the NFL Divisional Round kicking off this week. Real quick, I got to give a shout out to Chad real quick because he's right. Nobody can do it like him. I butchered the intro. Well, my computer did, or my signal. I have no idea what happened still. But Chad's right. Nobody can do it like him. We miss you, Chad. We'll see you next time. But I'll be honest, man. This Cincinnati Bengals at Tennessee Titans, I have no idea how to play it. The over 47, I don't know if that's going to go over or under, and Titans by 4, I don't know how to call that one either. I'm going to leave it up to the expert. John, what do you have on this game?
Well, I almost agree with you, Adam. I mean, it is a tough game to call. My leanings with Cincinnati, and I do have just looking at my notes here, which are pretty extensive for the shows. Cincinnati was, in my humble opinion, was lucky to get away with the win. They were outstatted in the box score. Oakland ran 10 more offensive plays than they did. And of course, if you want to cry sour grapes and complain about the refereeing, which Adam and I did a lot of on Sunday, you can say that the Raiders were kind of robbed a little bit of an opportunity to win the game. But still, Cincinnati advances, and they now will have their hands full in this matchup. Tennessee is a team that, with Derrick Henry, you would think that is vastly different than without him. But they only rushed for 10 yards per game less in the games that he did not participate in. So it begs the question, are they just a really good team and they're much better than we think? Or is it a chance for Cincinnati to, take the bull by the horns and advance? It's the first playoff game they've had, I think, since Abraham Lincoln that they won. And I mean, it's been a while, 30-some years.
I bet the Cowboys wish they could say the same, huh?
Right?
Yeah, I mean, how many wins does Jerry Jones have now in the playoffs? 3?
Yeah, maybe.
I think it is 3, which is mind-blowing. But
no, yeah. Yep.
Go
ahead, John. Sorry.
With Tennessee, that's all right. With the Tennessee situation here, looking at a team that won at least their last 3 regular season games. They're 17-8 straight up, 11-12 though, with 2 pushes against the number. But if they're not a double-digit favorite, they're 10-8 against straight up, and then 5-11 with 2 pushes against the spread. So that works against Tennessee. and gives you some fervor for the Bengals. But let's see what Tyler has to say about this.
Yeah, it's tough because like it looks like Vegas, regardless of Derrick Henry, Vegas likes the Titans here, and like in the favor. Bengals are 9-7 against the spread overall this season. Titans are 10-6. Titans are 6-3 at home ATS. I mean, is this still neutral site, right? Or they're playing in Tennessee, right?
In Tennessee,
yeah, they're in Tennessee.
So Tennessee's a home team, 6-3 ATS at home. Bengals are 5-2 away. It's tough. Bengals are also 5-3 against the spread as the underdog. It's not a big point spread, but yet they're still the underdog by the points. Is Derrick Henry playing? Do we know? Do we have a status on him?
As far as I know,
so I think he's good to go.
Yeah, I mean, he's made a miraculous recovery from that broken foot. I mean,
now the question is, I think he's good to go, but the better question is probably how much of a workload are they going to give him, especially if they don't need to. So I feel like they'll probably see how the game is going about if he needs to play a lot of snaps or even touch the ball a lot. But I think he's playing. He's been practicing all week. They've been hyping it up, so I'm pretty sure he'll be suited up and active at least.
Yeah. At the very least, I think it opens up Tennessee's offense a little more. You have to respect that run even more. Yep. As a Cincinnati defense. I mean, Cincinnati's run defense. I mean, John, do you know how well they fare against the run this season?
Mediocre.
Mediocre. Yeah.
I think it's more of a question of. This will sound crazy, but does his return disrupt the flows that they have?
Yeah,
it could.
Given what I said, only 10 yards less per game. They're still gaining like 137 per game,
and they've been winning.
They've been winning.
Yep.
In a very quiet manner, if you ask me.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like since I was going to listen to John on this one, and Tyler, you guys are the experts here, but since you guys are kind of iffy on it too, I'm just going to go with the hot take. I'm going to take Bengals money line. I got Joey B taking it and Jamar Chase taking it to the next round. I know Chad will appreciate that one. So let's go Bengals.
See, my emotional pick is the Bengals. You know what I mean? Who I want to win and cover this game is the Bengals. Like this whole season, I've been very hot on picking them. I picked them against the Ravens, both times. Sorry, Adam. And it's turned out all right.
Good picks.
So my emotional pick is the Bengals, but you try to keep that out of this. But I like the Bengals and the over.
Okay.
Because the stats are not my stat. Like the stats don't help me right now.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I can read off some stats that definitely don't help. It doesn't mean that I'm on Tennessee, but we talk about rest versus the bye team. When I say rest, going up against a team that played the wild card, it's not quite as bad as you think. Like a rested team versus a team that played the wild card on the road. The rested team, the bye team, is 17-2 straight up, 9-10 against the number 8-11 over under. A rested team. I should say the bye team. I just didn't have it of saying rested, but rested team versus a team that played the wild card on the road and won as a dog. Okay. The rested team is 12-1 straight up, 6-7 against the number, 4-9 over under. And lastly, a rested team versus a team that played the wild card at home and won, obviously, is 10-5 straight up, 8-6-1, 12-3 over. So there's not real much there to sink my teeth into other than the over.
Yeah, I was gonna say
the wild card home team.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I mean that the whole day I've been trying to find an angle on this game, and I was like, I just don't like it. If I do bet it, I'll probably buy some points on either the over or the spread. I'm just not liking the lines that we have right now, or maybe by Saturday they'll switch a little bit and give us something more favorable. But let's move on to the Packers or the 49ers at the Packers. I like the Packers here to win it. I do like them winning by the spread. I think the 49ers kind of showed that, they went up big against the Cowboys. The Cowboys choked, obviously, and we did a episode on that earlier this week, so go check that out if you haven't seen it already. But with the Cowboys being able to come back, the 49ers kind of showed that they weren't, locked in to finish that game out strong. They made some mistakes that let the Cowboys get back into the game. And I just think that if you do that against the Packers, you're not going to be able to win that game. I also love the over. I think it's at 47 or something like that. Let me double check. Yeah, 47.5. I love that over. I think they're both offenses are playing very well. Jimmy G's playing very well at the moment, and they're using Deebo Samuel the right way. And we know what Aaron Rodgers brings to the table. I think they can hit 47.5 pretty easily. What do you think about that, Ty?
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling. I really like the Packers here. The under the touchdown spread, I like it. I fear, a backdoor last second cover by the Niners. We'll have to see this comment right here. The Niners are undisciplined. So yeah, I like Aaron Rodgers. It's going to be cold apparently in Lambeau. It's January. I don't think that those teams from the West Coast, San Francisco is 70 all year round. They come up and have to deal with the cold weather of Lambeau Field. I feel like Green Bay, if they need to, they can just pound the rock with Aaron Jones, and AJ Dillon and get it done. I like the spread, the Packers and the points.
What you got, John, for this game?
Well, just a question for you, Tyler. It's not being contrarian to your pick. Do you have any concern with Green Bay's run defense? In recent weeks, they didn't look so hot stopping the run, and San Francisco suddenly has an offense with Garoppolo. And to your point about the weather, Garoppolo played in. Well, at least he didn't play much in New England, but he was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He practiced in New England a lot.
Yeah, he practiced a lot. We hope he practiced.
Yeah. Right.
But
I'll be honest. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that the second road game in a row, and they played the regular season finale on the road.
Yeah.
You got to think, road weary warrior against a rested Packers team would be like a Tampa Bay Bucks versus Eagles result.
Yeah. It's more of a faith in the Packers offense than it is their defense, just to simply outscore the Niners. So that's why that's favored to that over, is that, the Packers may give up just as many points as they score, but as long as they come out in that win column,
Yeah, well, I mean, and John made a good point about the Packers defense, rush defense not being great recently, and the 49ers kind of figuring it out, rushing as well. So even if that weather is a factor, both teams can run it down each other's throats possibly.
Exactly.
So I think we still see a lot of points. I agree with both of you guys though.
Yeah.
And I think we all have the Packers winning.
Yeah, I have a situation where the Packers win, but they don't cover.
Okay.
And I can bring that up.
I had a suspicion of that, that being the outcome. I don't know.
And you said that the backdoor cover, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Again, I have so many notes here, but I'll eventually find it. But I will say this: Shanahan is 9-1 on the money line, following 3 games in which his defense allowed fewer than 100 yards in each game. It's only one stat. It's only one trend. But I always come to the point where does this trend matter in this matchup? Does it matter that the Packers don't gain 100 yards on the ground? They're fully capable of winning it without 100 on the ground.
Right.
So I'm just trying to figure out if that actually means anything. It's a nice history lesson, but how does it apply to this game?
Right.
It perhaps doesn't.
It applies as much as you want it to, John, and that's the scary part.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep. Until you lock that pick in.
It applies as much as you want it to.
Like some of these things, like there's a statistic called Z-score, and what I use is called the P-score. P-score is like the Z-score on steroids, and it tells you how those parameters work together.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't run it for coaching trends like that, but I got to think that a 9-1 trend actually could be working in favor of the Packers, because it's not going to go 18-2. And when you start getting up to 90%, 88%, there's more of a propensity that it works against you than it helps you.
That's a good point. Definitely.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. It's like it works. You know, you have that 9-1. It works. It works until it doesn't.
You're hot until you're not.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like the Chicago White Sox this year were 22-3 against left-handed starters.
Yeah.
And then it flattened out. And then all of a sudden the Orioles hit the daylights out of left-handed starters. And everybody thought that trend was going to go on forever. And it didn't. And this might be a similar example.
Yeah.
Well, Natasha thinks we're wasting our time right now. She's going for the Niners. She said we could analyze all day, and the result is in already. This is I Got Next, where we do, we do take up those topics where it's, the possibility of the fix being in, and the result is already in. So maybe Natasha knows something we don't, but she's riding with the Niners tonight, on Saturday. So we should see.
Right. Yeah, we'll keep it moving.
Chad said John could run a third world country with the computing power he brings to his picks, I swear. Yatu Sabis, happy Hotep Thursday. What's up, bro? Yeah, it definitely was, man. You bring it all to the table, you know. But yeah, let's move on to the Rams at the Buccaneers. I love the over in this at 48.5. You got two passing offenses going up against two bottom 12 passing defenses. Both teams can't really run the ball too well, and they both have pretty good running defenses. So if it's going to be a passing game, a passing heavy game, that allows for a lot of time left on the clock if you're not running when you're throwing in completions and stuff like that. If you're not running it right up the middle, wasting time. So there's a lot of time on the clock, a lot of opportunities to score. Both offenses score a lot already, regardless of the matchup. So I love the over in that. In terms of who's going to win, though, I want to say the Rams are the better team, but when you're the Rams, you're not just going up against the Bucs, you're going up against Brady also. And like I said, this is I Got Next, so we're going to talk about the fact that the NFL wants to see Brady in another Super Bowl, and what they do about that is totally up to them. I have no way of knowing, but it scares me to pick against Brady in the playoffs, especially as his career is winding down, and they know they want to monetize his name as much as they possibly can. So I don't know. What do you got on this one, John?
Well, initially it's definitely a lean towards the Bucs, and I agree with you. I love the Rams team right now. I think the Rams and the Bucs, and I know Tyler and probably you too, Adam, will disagree, but I actually have the Packers as the third in my power ratings in the NFC.
Okay,
which is pretty interesting. It all evens out because the 49ers have to go on the road. But the Bucs and the Rams, any one of these four teams could win the Super Bowl. There's no doubt in my mind.
I agree.
I don't see Cincinnati, for example, winning the Super Bowl, but they could. But the NFC teams have a much better chance than a Cincinnati, for example. The Bucs are home teams that are coming off excellent offensive performances, and we know Brady has had many games where he's thrown no interceptions. So I take it one step further. Home teams coming off a game in which they threw for 2 passing touchdowns exact, had 0 turnovers. So obviously I'm looking at the Bucs here, and that carries over to the next game. And they're 8-4 straight up against the spread, 8-3-1 over under, which supports your over. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And there's more, though. So home teams that threw for 2 or more touchdowns, which Brady did, had no turnovers. 26-8 straight up, 20-14 against the number, 18-15 over under since 2002, and it supports the Bucs. And it's a scary game because the Rams are fully capable of pulling off the upset. And it'd be nice to see Stafford advance to the conference championship. He had 4 games that he was in the playoffs in Detroit, and it was all because of him. It wasn't any other reason why they were in the playoffs other than him throwing for close to 5,000 yards.
Real quick, John. I don't want to cut you off, but
that's all right.
Go ahead, Tyler. Go ahead.
It would be nice to see Matt Stafford.
Go ahead, do it, bro.
That's all I'll say. That's how it's tough.
It's the year of Georgia, maybe.
It would be nice.
Go ahead, gloat, bro. You got a championship. Now's the time.
No, I'm saving that for when I'm on with Chad. Let's be real.
Oh, okay. That's a good call. That's a good call. When Chad's here, you can talk that SEC talk.
I'm saving that for when Chad's on.
Yeah. Go ahead, John. Sorry, I just knew he needed to get that out of him. You know what I mean?
I was pretty much done with that little angle. Supporting teams that in the playoffs, they go, there's no regression. When you get up to maybe 5 touchdowns or in a Super Bowl, there is no next game. But Brady threw for 500 passing yards in the loss to the Eagles. Then you would expect some regression, but 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, and no turnovers. That means that whole unit is playing with a lot of confidence. And I mean, which quarterback are you going to put on your team if you're drawing teams in a sandlot type of situation? You're going to pick Brady, right?
Yep,
absolutely. Gronk is probably healthier, from what I understand, than he's been all year.
Mm-hmm. And they turn him up in the playoffs either way. So that's just a double whammy now. Yeah.
And the history with Brady and Arians has adopted this too. Possibly from Belichick, I don't know, but there's a higher run percentage versus pass as Brady's Patriots got to the playoffs. They ran the ball more and more. I mean, how many games did you watch in the end of the regular season or the playoffs where you heard a running back like, well, who the hell is that?
Yeah.
Or, some guy catches a ball and the announcers say he's an 8th round draft pick from, and you never heard of him.
Yeah.
But it's that I think my guess is Brady brings that to the Bucs, that it didn't matter that Evan, Godwin's out. It didn't matter all the injuries. And he just brings in
I'll be ready.
Whoever's up next. And it works.
Yeah. Well, John, that was spoken like a true Brady fan. Tyler, what you got?
It's practically impossible to deny the Tom Brady effect on a team. And it's hard to deny Tom Brady in the playoffs and the NFL's love for Tom Brady. I mean, both these teams are 8-8 against the spread on the season. Rams are 2-0 as underdog. Bucs are 5-2 against the spread at home. I don't know if I can go against Brady in the playoffs. It just, I would like to see the Rams win here. But I don't think I can go against Brady with just a 2.5 point spread in the playoffs.
Yeah, I hear you. Hey, Jonesy, if you're watching, close your eyes real quick. I got this comment from Jabari. I don't want to remind you about that, but this is a great point also.
What did I missed it? What did it say?
Oh no, he was saying that they love Brady too much. They'll make up a rule for him to win if they need to. Jonesy's a Raiders fan, so I didn't want to watch that one.
That was a painful game.
Yep. All right, well, let's move on to the Bills and the Chiefs. So Bills in KC. Uh-oh.
Oh, boy.
The man himself.
Hang on now. I don't even know if y'all can hear me yet. I'm still setting all my stuff up. I hadn't had my shit set up.
My bad. See you, Chad. Join when you're ready.
I was going to say, my laptop's at 5%. I don't have enough time to talk to him.
So Bills at the Chiefs. I like the Chiefs to win this one. I think it'll be a dogfight, though, so it could go either way. I think that the best bet here is taking the under. I feel like because both teams came off high-scoring games and both great offenses. Hold on, Chad, since you weren't ready.
All right, yeah, I'm ready now.
So 53.5, I think the books overreacted a little bit to both offensive games from last week. But the Bills, we can't forget, have the number 1 defense. But the Chiefs are a playoff team. They're ready for this. They've been there before. And I think the Chiefs win, but I think the under hits also. I think it's going to be a dogfight, maybe like a 24-22 score, 24-20, something close, but I think the Chiefs win it. And I think the under hits.
Yeah,
what
I
you
like Chiefs in the
Tyler,
under
John?
too. Yeah, I like Chiefs in the under too. Like, remember the last time this was a matchup, like people thought it was going to be the shootout of the century. And it just, was a very close game. Like it was 17-10. I forget what it was. Yeah, it was a very, very low scoring game. So I definitely like they've definitely got this over under set up high. I like the under.
I'm gonna let John go, and then I'm gonna talk my trash in a minute. I'm gonna give it.
Go ahead, John.
I'll be quick here. hate to say it, but this supports the Bills, but I'm with you guys on the under. I like the under quite a bit more than the side, but listen to this. Playoff games in which a road team won their last game by 24 or more points are 12-0 straight up. 13-9 against the spread. Over under is 15-7 to the under. So my question, been saying it all week on the shows, 12-0. Does it go to 13?
This is why you come here. This is why you come here to listen to this. You don't. I don't know where you get this stuff from, John, but like that's why I said it was a compliment. By the way, like your models, like I swear to God, you could run like I don't know, probably 5 third world countries with the computing power that goes into all that stuff. It's the best analysis.
Not to bring politics into it, but I think I could, if I could run 5 third world countries, I could run the United States just as well, right?
You could probably run it better.
No joke, bro. Right. Yes, but no, seriously. So let me have my moment here. So see, I wore this shirt on purpose because I heard you talking trash. I came in the house. I went up and got this. This is how you do it. You don't lose the SEC championship game. You don't hand Nick Saban some shit to put on his wall or anything like that. You just run right through the whole.
We just wanted the big one. we wanted the big one, the big shiny one.
I was only LSU when they won. I was only Georgia when they won. I wasn't thinking about either team when each one was winning.
Lee Corso said at the beginning of the year that Georgia would lose the SEC and win the national championship.
Wow, that's. So you can go with Corso as your.
I still don't even believe it. I'll be honest with you. Yeah. It's just like this thing in my brain that won't allow me to believe it. I mean, Stetson Bennett going yard. I mean, I'll say this.
That was insane.
I remember it was the day that we were talking. You were on and I couldn't be on it. You and Saul G were saying that Georgia never played nobody. When Georgia and Alabama played four of the same teams: Tennessee, Arkansas, Auburn, and Florida. Georgia smoked all of them. Alabama played those same 4 teams and barely beat them.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Florida.
Yeah. So,
that Florida game actually was like the harbinger for what happened in the national championship, because what Georgia did in the second half was just start running the ball down Alabama's throat.
Ran the ball, which is what we got away from in the SEC championship.
In the SEC championship, absolutely.
Which is what we got away from. And we rely, which Stetson can move, and that's why we liked him better than JT, because Stetson can move. He can't throw it 70 yards. We don't need him to throw it 70 yards. We need to throw it 50 to Elijah Mitchell in the end zone for a touchdown, which is what exactly happened.
Here's what's funny, though. So, like, the night of the game, it's like halftime. John texts me. He, like, DMs me back channel. He's like, here's what's going to happen. He's like, Georgia's going to score, and they're never going to look back. And that was pretty much it. Like, it was like they once they got that lead, that was it. They just kept like leaning on it for the rest of that half. Once they took the lead.
Tyler, tell them about your hedges and how they worked out so good.
Oh yeah, so So the life of a Georgia fan, you know that any positivity you bring your team is gonna jinx them to a loss. Right.
Exactly. So I threw it was like that for LSU fans too, bro. Look, we had our last national championship was 1958 before Saban won it for us in 03. So I get it.
I was like, you know what? I got to pull the reverse mush. So I threw a nice amount of money on the Alabama money line. I'm like, that's my sacrifice to the gambling gods. Let's go win as a national championship.
I love it. Let's go win. See, and it's great. It's great that you actually did it that way. That you treated it as though it was a sacrifice to the gambling gods, and not like, because sometimes the tempting thing to do is to like hedge. Like, I really don't feel good about this, so let me put some money on this, and I'll try to steer it this way. Like, it's like, no, look. This is a sacrifice. I'm throwing this money away. I don't want to win.
On fire.
Right, exactly.
It's a win-win situation though, because even if Bama came out and smoked them, he made some money. So it's a win-win.
I'll tell you what.
I think it's a great idea.
The Georgia fan in me, that last drive for Bryce Young, in my head, that pass was not an interception. That pass was the catch to the end zone. We're going to overtime. In my head.
Look, I've witnessed it. LSU was dominating Alabama in I forget what year it was, like 12 or 13, at home. And maybe it was 2014 in Baton Rouge, up by a touchdown. I can't remember that quarterback. He played like 1 year.
Sims.
Yeah,
Blake Sims.
Yeah, Blake Sims drove the length of the field, scored a touchdown to tie the game, a touchdown or a field goal to tie the game. We're up by either a field goal or a touchdown. Tie the game, send it into overtime. We lose in overtime. Yeah, and that was right after, like, a couple of years before that. AJ McCarron threw that little dump off pass. I don't know why we brought the house. We bring the house on like 3rd and 8 or something like that. It's like, no, man, just play this safe. Let them complete a pass in front of you, tackle them. No, we bring the house. They dump it off to who is that running back? TJ Yeldon takes it to the house. Oh.
Yeah, dude. Trust me,
Karen was like 0 for 7 in that half, and on that drive he goes 7 for 7.
You see what I started, John? See what I started?
I know. I'm sorry, John. I feel bad now.
I'm sorry you got to sit with this, bro.
No, this is good.
But I got to give you your flowers, Skyler. I'm happy for you. You know, I was shouting you out the night of the game. I was, I knew you were loving it. I got your bulldog hopping on the trampoline.
It was great
for you and everything. One of those days.
I appreciate being here.
Chad, since you joined late, what do you have for the rest of the games that we didn't talk about, or all 4? So Bengals, Titans, what you got?
So I'm going to go with the Bengals just because of the LSU connection. Like I got to ride with the Bengals until they lose. I don't even know why I asked you that one. Yeah, I can't even front. I actually like the Bills. I actually like the Bills over the Chiefs in that game anyway. And now that John threw that stat out about the 12-0 when the road team is coming off of a 20+ point victory in the previous round.
Yeah. You know what?
Give me that. Give me that Buffalo money line. I know
I said Chiefs. I know I said Chiefs on the show, but don't be surprised if my money goes to Buffalo after that one.
I like mine's like -1.5 now.
Yeah, it's literally -1.5.
Yeah,
it's a pickup at this point. Honestly, I'm probably
right.
It's gonna be a pickup.
And I like the Packers, and I like the Bucks. I don't see. I kind of feel the same way about the Bucks, but for a different reason as I do about the Bengals. Like, I'm gonna bet the Bengals until they prove me wrong, and I'm gonna ride the Bucks until the NFL says, "Hey, we're not gonna grift off of Tom Brady this year." Like, I just don't see it not happening. The only thing I'll say, the only thing I would say about the Packers is, I don't know how this whole Aaron Rodgers thing is going to play out. I don't know if they're going to like ride that story, because the truth of the matter is, for as bad as it may make them and their policies look, for all the protocols and everything, it's a moneymaker to have him in the news generating stories for ESPN and everybody else. Because as long as he's still playing, especially if like he crosses the 90-day threshold. I don't remember what day it was that he tested positive, but like, he's got 90 days before he has to start following the rules again. He's under the different set of rules right now. So I don't know. That's kind of where I see this going. Yeah, you're right, Jabari. AJ McCarron's wife is she's a baddie, but
there's another comment by Jabari there that I was gonna pull that other comment up by Jabari, but we don't have any black men on the stream at the moment, so I don't think we should laugh at that. That's a good one though.
Which one? About me
down, Chad.
Warming up the plantains or something?
Yeah. Jabari's just having fun here.
He's clowning.
As he should.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, John, Tyler, you guys got anything else? You're the guest here. If you got anything else that you wanted to mention or touch on, go for it.
No, I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy Chad showed up. I'll be real.
Me too.
I'm happy I could too. I didn't want y'all to feel like I was trying to ice y'all out or anything like that. I was driving all the way from Texas up in the drive only 11 minutes, so whatever, 15 minutes ago. So I ran upstairs when I heard Tyler talking shit. So I had to honor him with that.
There you go. Hey, Tyler, shout out your Twitter again. Shout out, Pickin Winners, whatever you want to talk about. I know you guys just dropped a video too today, right?
Yeah, we just dropped. Me and Connor just dropped our video for these same games that we're talking about right now. Yeah, definitely follow at Pickin Winners on Instagram and Twitter. Pickin Winners on YouTube, and pickinwinners.org. Check us out, definitely.
And
that's Tyler's and John's. Both of their stuff is in the description for anyone who wants to check it out. Yeah,
I didn't know that. Good shit, Chad.
So, but yeah, tell us.
I won't belabor the point then. We do a ton of shows. Wednesdays, I do 4 or 5 shows throughout the day, written content. And this is one of the premium bets I gave out tonight in college hoops. And I know I'm going out on a limb, but I think San Francisco is going to give Gonzaga one hell of a game tonight. So I'm grabbing what was 16.5 points and a little sprinkle on that money line. So after this game is over, you can tell me I was nuts. It's okay. It's a one game.
I like the sprinkle.
That's a hot take.
Look,
pizza money.
But here's the thing.
Pizza money on there, right?
Look at the last week or so. All the teams like in the top 8 have been getting knocked off by teams that are not even close to the top 25. So it wouldn't surprise me at all.
You'll like this, Chad, real quick. It was LSU. I was on a football show on a Saturday morning that, we basically went through it was a marathon. Mm-hmm. It was fun because I liked the guys I was with. So we get to Florida, LSU in the swamp. LSU's having an awful year, and they're getting 24.5 points in the swamp. And I did the breakdown, and I said, well, my best bet for the show is on the LSU Tigers plus 24.5. And the 2 of the guys said, you're out of your mind. There's no way they're going to win. And I said, well, I'll do you one further then. Let's do a gentleman's bet or $20 and give me the money line. And the money line was $9.50.
What?
And you know what happened. But every year there's always a 17.5 point dog that wins outright. There was
last year.
How many there? There was 24 of them this year. 17.5 point dogs in college football that won the game.
Mm-hmm.
I
think it's not that unusual.
You picked one of those earlier in the season too, right?
Texas A&M over Alabama.
Yeah. That was a huge pick.
That was another one. But the world was on Alabama. Yeah. It wasn't really that hard. My models were on Texas A&M. Saying it should be like a 10-point game or less.
Texas A&M was coming off of a loss to Mississippi State and Arkansas going into that. They looked like crap. They were playing terrible.
It was a perfect storm.
Yeah, it is. It is. Absolutely.
Yeah, hey, Natasha, anyway. In the description, you'll find his Twitter. You can get to to his YouTube, both of their YouTubes from there, just so you know.
That's right.
And Jabari gave us, we forgot about this, but all Men of Order picks are for entertainment purposes only. Please
especially mine.
And states that it legalized sports gambling.
Always.
Jabari, we forgot to mention that part. This is not financial advice. This is not financial advice.
First trying to join the Men of Order legal team.
Right.
That's our biggest thing in Pickin Winners is you always gamble responsibly.
That's right.
Especially when we're giving out picks.
With the head and not over it.
Yep. Yes. All right. Well, hey, everybody follow us over. We made perfect time. So follow us over to Hotep Jesus' channel for Hotep's Been Told You.
Absolutely.
And,
I'll take care
appreciate you guys tuning in.
Bro.
All right. Sounds good, bro.
Yeah.
Let's do it, Chad.
Y'all take it easy. Peace.